The following is an edited extract from All Things Considered by G.K. Chesterton. Download a PDF copy by clicking on the link in the description below. The Worship of the Wealthy. There has crept, I notice, into our literature and journalism, a new way of flattering the wealthy and the great. In more straightforward times, flattery itself was more straightforward. Falsehood itself was more true. A poor man wishing to please a rich man simply said that he was the wisest, bravest, tallest, strongest, most benevolent, and most beautiful of mankind. And, as even the rich man probably knew that he wasn't that, the thing did the less harm. When courtiers sang the praises of a king, they attributed to him things that were entirely improbable, as that he resembled the sun at noonday, that they had to shade their eyes when he entered the room, that his people could not breathe without him, or that he had with a single sword conquered Europe, Asia, Africa, and America. The safety of this method was its artificiality. Between the king and his public image, there was really no relation. But the moderns have invented a much subtler and more poisonous kind of eulogy. The modern method is to take the prince or rich man, to give a credible picture of his type of personality, as that he is businesslike, or a sportsman, or fond of art, or convivial, or reserved, and then enormously exaggerate the value and importance of these natural qualities. What they do is to take the rich man's superficial life and manner, clothes, hobbies, love of cats, dislike of doctors, or what not, and then with the assistance of this realism, make the man out to be a prophet and a savior of his kind, whereas he is merely a private and stupid man who happens to like cats or to dislike doctors. The old flatterer took for granted that the king was an ordinary man, and set to make to work him out extraordinary. The newer and cleverer flatterer takes for granted that he is extraordinary, and that therefore even ordinary things about him will be of interest. There is another way of flattering important people, which has become very common, I notice, among writers in the newspapers and elsewhere. It consists in applying to them the phrases simple or quiet or modest, without any sort of meaning or relation to the person to whom they are applied. To be simple is the best thing in the world. To be modest is the next best thing. I am not so sure about being quiet. I am rather inclined to think that really modest people make a great deal of noise. It is quite self-evident that really simple people make a great deal of noise. But simplicity and modesty, at least, are very rare and royal human virtues, not to be lightly talked about. But in the description of the births, lives, and deaths of very luxurious men, they are used incessantly and quite without thought. If a journalist has to describe a great politician or financier, the things are substantially the same. Entering a room or walking down a thoroughfare, he always says, Mr. Midas was quietly dressed in a black frock coat, a white waistcoat, and light grey trousers with a plain green tie, as if anyone would expect him to have a crimson frock coat or spangled trousers. The word modest will soon become like the word honorable, which is said to be employed by the Japanese before any word that occurs in a polite sentence, as put honorable umbrella in honorable umbrella stand, or condescend to clean honorable boots. We shall read in the future that the modest king went out in his modest crown, clad from head to foot in modest gold, and attended with his 10,000 modest earls, their swords modestly drawn. No, if we have to pay for splendor, let us praise it as splendor, not as simplicity. When next I meet a rich man, I intend to walk up to him in the street and address him with oriental hyperbole. he will probably run away. You have just listened to an edited extract from All Things Considered by G.K. Chesterton. Download a PDF copy by clicking on the link in the description below.